Good evening and welcome to Realty Coffee Talk on Awaz Entertainment in Canada around the world. My name is Tahir I. Qureshi. I'm a fellow of Rules Issue of Canada, broker of record for City Pro Realty Inc. brokerage, and your host of Realty Coffee Talk. Tonight we're going to talk about impact of lower interest rate for home buyers and sellers. Before that, first of all, it's very crucial to understand what the Bank of Canada's key policy rate is. It is the interest rate at which major financial institutions borrow and lend money one day overnight, funds amongst themselves. And this rate is the foundation for the prime rate that commercial banks offer for their customer or consumer, you and me. So when the bank cuts its key rate by 0.25%, which was announced yesterday, the commercial bank almost immediately lower their prime rate by the same amount. The prime rate is benchmark for variable mortgage. If you have a mortgage and it's variable, automatically your cost of borrowing will go down. You have a paying more principal and less to the bank. Home equity line of credits, because we always have a home equity line of credit, and that if you borrow money and those are variable, and those interest rate will go down and you are paying less money. And variable rate loans, any other loans that you have which is variable will decrease by that amount. Some line of credits, you have a personal line of credits, some are home equity line of credit, some are personal line of credit. If they are variable, using a variable rate, your mortgage rate will go down. This single change creates a ripple effect across the entire country economy, with the real estate market being one of the most sensitive and impacted sector. You know why? Because we need money to buy. We need money to repair. You need money to renovate. We need money to create a legal basement apartment or installing a second dwelling unit or garden suite. We have a Sahara garden suite. We have Ashana garden suite. So those are all require money. And this is why whether it's choice between buying for the family or renting it. So in the long run, if you buy the property, you're better off. So let's talk about the impact on buyer. We're going to talk about impact of this interest rate reduction on buyer, and then we're going to talk about the seller. So a window opportunity. Impact on buyer is a window opportunity with stipulations or limitations. There's always limitations, stipulations. So for a prospective home buyer, a rate cut is generally positive news because they can afford more. Its effects are less impacted when you are trying to get more. So immediate boost to affordability, especially for variable rates. So that's number one. Lower mortgage payments. The most direct impact is on borrowers or seeking variable rate mortgage. So there will be immediate effect. They already recently have done the variable mortgage. Interest rate is gone 0.25% automatically. Okay, and their interest cost will decrease immediately because the moment it's announced by the Bank of Canada, the commercial bank will also announce it. The leading to lower monthly payments. It will reduce your monthly payment. Okay, this can make a home more affordable on a month-to-month basis. Remember that affordability comes based on the total loan that you have, the debt ratio, the affordability that you have created for yourself when you took the mortgage, you got the financing. Just for your disclosure, I'm a principal broker of Canada Express Mortgage FCRA license number 13241. So I can speak about the mortgage, I can speak about real estate, and I can speak to you about building construction because I'm also founder of Dixon Construction Inc., which is a HCRA licensed builder, license number B 63247. So you have to have a license or competency in order for you to give advice or talk about topics. We always advise that you seek legal advice or competent professional when you're asking for opinion. These jurisdictions I have, I can provide you information. Now, qualification test. This is, remember, the stress test. The eases slightly, but not necessarily. OFSI will change their threshold. I did a TikTok small one, and I mentioned that the Bank of Canada can increase interest rate anytime. But the criteria for stress test is OFSI, and they decide twice a year what the benchmark they're going to use to qualify the borrowers to borrow money. So maybe it eases, maybe the OFSI will start thinking about allowing that flexibility. But in Canada, all insured mortgages must qualify at the stress test rate. So stress test I mentioned to is 5.25 from the OFSI, or you have a contract rate, you can add a 2% as a contingency fund. So which is either the lender's offer rate plus 2%, lender offer, they ask you, we call them contract rates, or the 5-year benchmark rate as set by the Bank of Canada, which is higher, 5.25. So a Bank of Canada rate cut can lead to a decrease in this benchmark. It could lead, it doesn't mean that it does, but it could lead because OFSI decide the rules independent from the Bank of Canada. Now, if a decrease in this benchmark qualifying rate, this means some buyers who were previously just shy of qualifying might now qualify, meet the bar, and allowing them to enter the market. So, you know, you have so much income, declare income to CRA, you find your tax return, you have a notice of assessment, and then you shy of something to buy it because of interest, being interest rate, you qualify for a certain amount. So with this 0.25%, it might help you $25,000, $30,000, $40,000, depends on how much you want to spend. So this is why it's very important to get yourself pre-qualified and get this done. Now, second item is increased purchasing power because of impact for the buyer. We're talking about buyer now. Now, with lower monthly payments, the buyer might feel confidence stretching their budget slightly, potentially allowing them to consider a more expensive property than before the rate cut. So you are able to afford certain amount of amount that you qualify, and now with that 0.25% going down, you will have a little bit more money coming to you depending on this. I think we did I did a TikTok yesterday a little bit. So it's about $12.50 to $12.75 per thousand you can save. So that means if you have a mortgage 500,000, that you time 12.75 time 5, that is the extra cost you will save in terms of the mortgage. And it all depends on individually how much you owe the mortgage money and how much you want to borrow. So potentially, so if you are short of $50 a month, for example, you may qualify now to buy your dream home if you want to buy something to build, because especially for the first time home buyer, there is a little challenge there. They need some help. There are some programs available where you can benefit from us, and you can call me and I can direct you and we can help you on that. And my office number is 905-785-9923. And also with Tahir Qureshi, and I can help you to do that. Now, physiological green light. You know, this is all about motivation. When people are stressed and they don't know what's going on in the marketplace. So psychologically, you are affecting to make a decision to buy a property. This is the best time to buy a property if you can afford it. If you've done your budget, you have saving, you have money for down payment, this is the best time to buy because there's a lot of property in the market for sale. So physiological green light, that gives you a little bit a green light in your mind. Rate cuts are often interpreted as a signal that borrower costs have peaked and may be heading down. This can break the wait and see approach many buyers adopted when rates were rising, and prompting them to re-enter the market for fear of missing out, FOMO, on lower prices of the future competition. So you have to remember that if interest rates come down, real estate prices start going up. So there is a balance between the two. If you buy now, how much will cost you if the interest rate goes down, and how much you can buy in the later. But what is the difference between the two? The carrying cost. Which one is the better one, and who is it's the best for you to calculate forecasting for 5 years of that you want to keep that house at least 5 years, and you can calculate carrying costs versus buying now or buying later. So this is very, very important because interest rate will give you a price reduction on a certain amount. But escalation of price for property value has gone up because material costs gone up 35-40% in last 2 years. So this is very important for you. Cost of buying a property, a newer one, even more expensive now because of cost. I'm a licensed builder, so I know the costs are, construction costs are for the house. So you will not be able to save that small reduction in interest rate to save long term to buy something later. So I recommend that you should think about buying now. As you know, I am a real estate broker of record for City Pro Realty Inc., so I can guide you and make sure that it's done according to your desire, and you are able to satisfy yourself, and this is important for you to know. So the buyer's covenant. The rate cut often stimulate demand because when the rate goes down, people start demand go high. And if many buyers have the same idea and re-enter the market, you're going to have multiple offers and competition, bidding war going on. So this is very important for you to understand that this is the right time for you to buy it, and this may help you. This could lead to a resurgence in the bidding war I mentioned to you earlier, which could put upward pressure on home prices, potentially offsetting some of the affordability gains from the lower interest rate. So interest rate, you will gain from it. But if you're going to end up in a competition, you're going to end up paying more money, then maybe gain is not significant. So you need to make a decision now if you want to buy the property. This is very, very important. So now, so you have an idea about the buyers that you need to think about. The interest is going down, it's time to buy. If I have to buy a property now, let's go and do it. So this is what the limitation buyer has, and they will think about, should I buy now or should I wait for another interest rate down? What will be the cost of buying the house in 2 months later? I think the October there is a potential for another interest rate going down. But would the price will rise to the point based on how much you are saving now with the interest rate you have now, or how much you will save, or you pay more when the properties are up and multiple bidding war is happening. So this is where you have to think about and analyze it and make the decision. So this is the perspective for the buyers. Now we're going to talk about impact on sellers. A shift in market dynamics. What's happening in the market for sellers? For sellers, a rate cut can significantly alter the market environment, typically for the better, because people now can afford it. So we're going to talk about that. What are the benefits for the seller today? So now, number one, a large pool of potential buyers. So as outlined above, we mentioned that low rate bring more qualified buyer into the market. And this is where excitement is, you know. People are thinking about, hey, interest rates are going down, let's go get excited. And that's the motivation, the pulse of the people, they get more active, energized, and they start making decisions, getting out, let's go get it out and buy your home. Now, for a seller, this means their property is visible to a large audience and increasing the chances of a quicker sale and potentially multiple offers. This is what it is. It all depends on the location, street, location, city, and demographic where the property is located. But the potential is there, and that's what is benefit to the seller. Okay. And number two, potential for higher sale prices. How? And that's what we're going to talk. Increased demand. It's about supply and demand. If increased demand coupled with limited supply, a chronic issue in many Canadian markets, is a classic recipe for price appreciation. And this is very, very important for you are looking, you are hiring a real estate professional to make sure he look for the area that you can afford to live, and he look at all the options, and he or she can recommend you a property in the area. If you can't find anyone that you think that is not able to provide you some technicality, give our office a call. We have brokers and agents. We can help you. My office number is 905-785-9923. We'll be more than happy to help you. Now, if the competition intensifies, and seller may find themselves in a stronger negotiating position, potentially achieving a sale price or even above the asking price. Now, here comes the issue. When you are, as a listing agent, when you or a seller, you're trying to list a property, you have two strategies. I always recommend to calculate the real true value of the property, and you list the most reasonable price so your property will move. When circumstances are some seller have bought the property in a very hard time, when they end up paying more price, they are not able to afford it now, they have to sell it, they're going to lose. And this is where the issue is. But when, as a buyer, you are not supposed to be getting motivated or excited about it because you're doing a multiple bidding and you're removing conditions and you can't qualify and you get in trouble. Or you're overpaying the price without any logic during the multiple bidding. This is very, very critical to be peaceful in mind that you have created a budget that you're going to use. Now seller will take advantage of that. Obviously, it's going to happen. And this is why interest rates are stimulant for the real estate economy, because interest rate goes down, affordability goes up, and they can buy bigger and bigger homes. So this is very important for you now. The number three is a beneficial for seller financing, home equity line of credit. So many sellers use the equity from their current home to finance the purchase of their next one, often through a home equity line. And they borrow money, and that's why you need to build a safe haven for equity. The more equity you have leverage to use that equity to buy more properties. So this is very, very important to build that equity. And also it comes rainy day, because when you have no job, you lose a job and you can't afford it. And then you can draw money, get a line of credit, draw money to pay until you get back to the business. So a rate cut lowers the interest cost on these home equity line of credits. And this is very beneficial. We have used that too. And this is always good, especially if you're young kids or professional, they're going to medical or engineering program, they need financing. Parents always help, and you can give the money to them and make it's cheaper to bridge between the properties or financing renovation before selling. So when you are want to renovate your house to sell it, you can borrow money against home equity line, because at the end of the day, you have to make house presentable. And lots of people want to see more modern look of the property, and they're going to spend money, and lots of people don't have the money to spend on it. And therefore, they want to make sure that you understand, you have spent that, you prepare them, because some buyers, they will be able to buy the property because it's already updated, and they don't have to reinvest more money. They don't have to allocate fund for the renovation. And this is where your budget comes in handy. So what's a seller's kivit? In this case, while a rate cut improves condition, it does not guarantee a windfall. The outcome still depends heavily on the local market condition, property types and listing price, and of overpriced home will still struggle to sell. Remember that I mentioned that type of property: detached home, semi-detached home, luxury home, big, whatever type of property is, and look, listing price make a big difference. And condition of the property is very important. It has to be presentable so the client can, client or buyer, home buyer, they can visualize that how a house is going to look when they are, they are able to use this property for their enjoyment of the family. So they can visualize how they're going to live in that house is very, very important. So this is, and also overpriced home won't sell. They struggle to sell. This is where lots of a seller will impose restriction. We are to obey our client because they are the one who are selling the property, and we provide them feedback, competitive market analysis, go and tell them what is possible, and then they say whatever the price they want, and they can see that that property doesn't sell, it stays too long because either condition of the property is not right, or is priced too pricey, or the location of the property. So these are the things that happens then, it takes time. And we're going to take a short break now, and we come back and continue our conversation, and we talk about broader market impact and bigger picture on real estate after the break.
अगर आपको दुबई या मिडिल ईस्ट नुमा ज़ेवरात की तलाश है, तो आपको दूर जाने की बिल्कुल जरूरत नहीं। आज ही हमारे मिसिसागा रिचवे स्टोर तशरीफ लाइए, अल करम ज्वेलर्स। हमारे पास सोने के बेहतरीन कंगन, कड़े, झुमके, हार और सोने के सेट्स भी दस्तयाब हैं। शादी हो या मेहंदी या कोई भी फंक्शन, आपकी पसंद के तमाम ज़ेवरात आपको हमारे स्टोर में मौजूद मिलेंगे। आज ही हमारे स्टोर पर तशरीफ लाइए, अल करम ज्वेलर्स, 3465 प्लैटिनम ड्राइव, यूनिट 99, मिसिसागा, या फिर कॉल करें 905-828-0009। अल करम ज्वेलर्स, फरमाइश आपकी, गारंटी हमारी।
डिक्सी इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स और अप्लायंसेस, जहां आपकी तमाम इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स और अप्लायंसेस की जरूरियात पूरी होंगी। हमारे पास आपको हर टॉप ब्रांड मौजूद मिलेगा, चाहे वो वर्लपूल हो या एलजी, सैमसंग हो या जनरल इलेक्ट्रिक्स। हम इन सब के ऑथराइज्ड डीलर हैं। आइए और हमसे 5 स्टार खिदमत का लुत्फ उठाइए। हम आपको तमाम अप्लायंसेस सबसे बेहतर और सस्ते दामों पर फराहम करेंगे, ये हमारी गारंटी है। विजिट आवर वेबसाइट www.dixieelectronics.ca या फिर हमें कॉल कीजिए 905-625-5900. At Dixie Electronics and Appliances, we sell quality and deliver confidence.
HK Movers, home, offices, apartments and delivery, big or small, we move it all.
HK Movers.
Local and long distance, we also ship cars, Keller transport and moving services.
For service with a smile, give us a call.
Call Mr. Harminder 416-524-6704.
416-524-6704 पे.
Visit 140 Advanced Boulevard, Unit number 10, Brampton.
Long distance moving specialist.
HK Movers. HK Movers.
Looking to buy, build, or renovate your dream home? At City Pro Realty, we don't just sell properties, we deliver complete solutions. From finding the perfect property to securing the right financing, we handle it all. Need funds to buy or build? We've got you covered. Canada Express Mortgage Incorporated, Brokerage LIC number 13241. And if you're dreaming of a custom home or a top-to-bottom renovation, our trusted builders make it happen, seamlessly. 3 services. 1 trusted team. We deliver value through service. Think about us, then call us. Your dream home starts here with us. From keys to construction, we make it simple. Think about us today. Call us 905-785-9923. Thank you. Looking to buy, build, or renovate your dream home? At City Pro Realty, we don't just sell properties, we deliver complete solutions. From finding the perfect property to securing the right financing, we handle it all. Need funds to buy or build? We've got you covered. Canada Express Mortgage Incorporated Brokerage LIC number 13241. And if you're dreaming of a custom home or a top-to-bottom renovation,
Good evening and welcome to Realty Coffee Talk on Awaz Entertainment in Canada, around the world. My name is Tahir Qureshi. I'm a fellow Royal Institute of Canada, broker of record for City Pro Realty. Since we talk about mortgage stuff, I'm a principal broker of Canada Express Mortgage, FSRA, license number 13241. And I'm also licensed builder with HCRA, and my license number is B63247. So I can talk about real estate, I can talk about mortgage financing, I can talk about building a custom home with taking warranty. Okay. We are talking about now impact of broader market impact and the bigger picture on real estate. We already talked about the buyer, we talk about the seller. It's important to view a single quarter percent cut, not in isolation, but as a part of a broader trend. A signal of more to come. Question, is it more coming? One cut is often seen as a first step in a full easing cycle. We are gone through a cycle, now we're hoping that it will be eased up. The market's reaction will be magnified if the buyer and seller believe this is the start of a several rate decreases over the next year. So we are already learning from economists that there is another interest rate cut will be coming in October. I believe it's 29. So cycle. It creates the motivation, ignite the spirit of get involved, get excited, and do something. Fixed rate versus variable rates. While variable rates react immediately, fixed rate mortgages are influenced by the long-term bond yields. Bank of Canada cut can cause bond yields to fall, potentially leading to a lower fixed mortgage rate as well. Though this reaction is not instantaneous. So these are the benefit or balances between variable and fixed price. Fixed price don't change. You have a 5-year contract, it remains there. Economic context. The Bank of Canada typically cut rates when it is concerned about economic growth or a potential recession. While good for housing, rate cuts can be a signal of a weakening economy. Remember that if economy is weakening, employment is going to be a problem. Who's going to buy the houses? And seller will have a difficulty to afford it if they lost their job. And these are all commingled together, which could affect job security for people and consumer confidence. Remember, confidence is the key that stimulates the economy. If interest rates goes down, people are motivated and people can afford it, they will buy it. I think 35% of the Canadian economy is based on real estate because there are so many people involved in construction, the building, the plumber, the cement, and wood, and carpenters, and plumber, electrician, engineer, planner, zoning, everybody, lawyer, real estate, home inspector, everybody is involved, mortgage financing. They're all depending on one transaction. And those are affected by it if nothing happens. So, key factor for making a large purchase like a home. Buying a home is a very big key factor in decision makers, and economy will affect that even one house. So let's talk about a summary, a balance view between parties, buyer and seller, and positive impact and risk consideration. For the buyer is a lower variable mortgage rate, potential for the and the risk is potential for increased competition for the buyer. Easier qualification stress test on the risk and consideration, possible rise in prices offsetting. If the interest rate goes down, the cost of the houses go up. That's the risk. And positive impact. Okay, increased purchase power. That's the buyer, because interest rate gone, they have more power. On the risk is saving. This will help you the saving. Okay, this is a risk and a consideration. Reduce fear of rising rates. It will reduce the fear, because that's what drives people motivation not to do it. Economic uncertainty prompting cautions. These are risk and consideration when you have this situation. Large pool of qualified buyers for the buyers. Potential for quicker sale and bidding wars. This happened. On the other side, risk and consideration, market response may be muted if cut is small. So if this cut is small, it doesn't come back and reinforce with the more cuts. It's not going to affect too much. So in this case, I believe 0.25% can increase about $25,000, $27,000 more qualification for a buyer. Okay, and this is very, very important. Or $12.75 reduction in your variable mortgage if you're paying on $100,000. Now, seller is a stronger negotiating position and higher prices, and cheaper financing for their next purchase. These are the benefit. And on the risk side, property must still be priced correctly. And this is biggest mistake sellers are making. They don't price it. And also they list so low, people don't know what the price is. Remember, we talked about that whole episode about strategy. I think it has to link with the financial obligation on the part of the seller, because they're selling a property, they have some goals behind it. Those are private. And based on that, they have certain limitation. And this is why they are working with those. In conclusion, we can conclude this, a 0.25% rate cut by the Bank of Canada acts as a stimulant for the real estate market. Definitely does. And it directly improves affordability for buyers with a variable mortgage, and broadens the pool of qualified buyers, which in turn benefits sellers by creating a more active and competitive market. So you see, they're all interconnected. More buyers qualify, and then potentially there's a competition, it benefits the seller. And this is where important thing is to figure out, based on your affordability calculation, how much you can afford, what has impacted this reduction. You can afford more, and you can go and buy the property of your choice. However, both parties should proceed with informed caution. This is very, very important. I sit down with my client and explain them before a decision is made to proceed with the offer. And we discuss very diligently to make sure we don't cross the limit, we don't stretch ourselves, therefore buyer will not become a trouble. Thanks God, we have 5-star rating, and we have amazing feedback from our client, because we care. We deliver value through service, and we have principles that we follow, and we don't compromise our integrity because of making a deal. So we, by law, we are here to protect the interest of our client. That's our fiduciary duty. So therefore, we do very strong due diligence to make sure that we have turn every stone as possible to make sure our clients are making a good decision. For buyer, the goal is to act before prices rise to absorb the saving from the rate. See, When the saving comes, the interest rate saving realized, the seller will start raising the price, and they want to act very fast to capitalize that before they go up. For the seller, it represents an opportunity to list in a rejuvenated market, but success still hinges on realistic pricing and understanding local dynamics. This is very, very important. Don't overprice. This is where the problem is. Sometimes we can't do it because they are the principal, they decide. Now, ultimately, this move is a significant shift in sentiment. And this is marking a transition from a period of tightening to one of easing. Because it was tightening, nobody was buying it. And now it's going to start loosen up. That means you're thinking about it, should I buy? Which historically has a powerful catalyst for real estate activity. So I'm hoping that this small cut in interest rate will stimulate the economy. It create motivation. Buyers start going out and buying the property. If you have any questions, you want some help from us, you can call our office, 905-785-9923. We have a true talented team. They're qualified brokers and agents that we can provide you and give you a very concrete guidance and help you to understand the process. We will be scheduling we have scheduled a first-time home buyer seminar on 30th, Tuesday, I believe 30th of September at 7 to 8 p.m. So if you are on social media, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, or YouTube, please join, subscribe, because we have limited seats and we will discuss you and guide you the process. And obviously, we'll share with you a RICO information guide also to make sure you understand when you are not a client of a person, you cannot seek opinion, advice, or any service unless you enter into a representation agreement. So we were looking forward to welcome you. Thank you very much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed. There are more than 506 episodes on realtycoffeetalk.com and my YouTube channel that you can subscribe. And also you can go to Awaz Entertainment YouTube channel and you see all the episodes there as well. Thank you very much. And we look forward to your feedback on our channel. And if you need to advertise, please call Awaz Entertainment. And there is a special for you to get a special discount for advertising on Awaz Entertainment in Canada around the world. Thank you for watching. May God bless you all. May God bless Canada. Bye for now. See you next Thursday at 7 p.m.